What is up, guys? Welcome to Garage 23, and today we're going to be working on our 1997 240SX, and we're going to be painting the engine bay. So let's get started. All right, so for anyone else new here, this is our 97 S14, and it's going to be taking parts from our 95 S14 because that one's a salvage title, and this one's a clean title. But before that, we need to basically repaint the whole car because we're missing panels, and most of the other panels were just damaged a little too much. So that, and I didn't really like the color. I figured it's kind of overwhelming because it's a lot of stuff to deal with right now. So we're just gonna take it one bite at a time and just deal with the engine bay, because that's what I have inspiration to do right now. So that's what's going on. Being that it was already painted like pretty well, all we really have to do is like scuff everything up, and we didn't really want to film all that because it's just scuffing everything with the red Scotch-Brite. That's basically all we did, is just everything that's shiny, try and make it not shiny with this. And that took freaking forever. I was gonna paint it a couple weeks ago, and I sprayed down sealer and then waited too long, and then it dried, and then realized that I can't just spray over dry sealer. So yeah, we sanded everything all over again with red Scotch-Brite, and huge thanks to Copymart Joey for help, because he helped me not fall into depression again because of all the work that we did and had to do it all over again. But it was a good thing because I ended up removing some extra brackets that I didn't like, because my initial thoughts were to try and restore the car, but somebody else has already deleted the whole battery tray section, so it's already kind of been modified. So then I was like, there's no sense in leaving the bracket. What's this bracket? I think it's for the air filter box, and I just thought it was kind of ugly and it's hard to like paint around. So we drilled out the spot welds and pulled it off, and now it looks nice and clean and smooth. It took way longer than expected, and then we had to re-prep this area and then throw some primer over it. So yeah, main stuff that you would need to just clean up the engine bay: Scotch-Brite. We also used some 320 grit sandpaper for any more stubborn areas, and then some Etch primer for any spots that got back down to bare metal. So like this Spray Max Etch primer works pretty good. That's pretty much it. That's how we got to this point. So now we're ready to actually start painting, and so we're gonna do our base coat, and then we're gonna try something special that I haven't tried before. So I'll show you guys that next. So let's check that out. All right, so initially the color that I wanted to do was this color that I did a little test on the gaslit from the R34, and this is Mazda's Soul Red Crystal. What I didn't like about this color is seeing it around town in direct sunlight, it looks absolutely gorgeous. In indirect sunlight, it looks burgundy, which I hate. So I wanted to try and spray a sample myself, because the way this is painted, it's actually like a rose gold kind of base coat with like flake in it. There's basically a candy coat, a tinted clear that goes in the middle, and that color, if you layer it too much, you start darkening the whole color, so it starts turning burgundy pretty quick. Basically, I wanted to see how little of that coat I could get away with to try and keep it as red as possible. And so this, I did like one dusty, very light coat, and then another one to try and like get as much coverage as I could. So it's like two half coats basically. And so I think this is as red as it's gonna get. And there's even some spots where like you can see we didn't get very good coverage with the red. And even then it looks, in indirect light, it just looks too burgundy. And I think I've realized I don't actually like this color as much as I thought. So I was looking around for ideas, and I came up with something else that I think is exactly what I'm looking for. So we're gonna go with a base coat of active red. That's gonna be just a solid red color. And then I've been following these guys, Tropical Glitz, for a while because they do a lot of super rad like lowrider stuff. I just really admire lowriders' like attention to detail and stuff. And they have this gold translucent pearl that looks freaking awesome. So I talked to them, and they're like, yeah, you want to use this with, because I thought you just throw it in like your clear coat or something. They said you can. That's like the old school way of doing it, but we have basically a clear base coat now. It's called their Intercoat Clear, and this is meant to hold all your like flakes and pearls and stuff like that, or candies. That's what this is like made to do. So it's better to have it in here than to put it in your clear coat, because if you get like runs or anything in your clear coat, you're not gonna get the runs are gonna be like outlined by your flake or pearl, and you're not gonna be able to polish that out. So it's it's better to do it with this stuff and then do your standard clear over it. So we're gonna give this a shot. And then for our clear, I'm trying a Euro clear this time. What I typically use and what I've used on like the Z and the Ultima is this Sherwin-Williams Finish 1 brand. And it's been pretty good. I've just found that I have a hard time not getting fish eyes in that stuff. So I just wanted to try something different. And also this is like practically empty, so not even sure if it would have been enough for the engine bay. So I needed a new clear, and being that we're gonna have to paint the S14, the R34, the Ultima, maybe something else, I just decided to get like a huge bottle. This is 5 liters, and then with the hardener it's 7.5 liters. And apparently you're supposed to reduce it a little bit too. I've never done that before, but that'll extend it even further. I'm gonna give that a shot, and then of course to clean everything up, you're gonna have your acetone and your gun cleaner. So that's what we got to work with. So I guess let's start prepping the engine bay and getting ready to spray the paint on. All right, so first step after we're done sanding and blowing all the dust off is hit it with some Prep-Sol. I just have it in a Chemical Guys spray bottle, but it's this stuff, just wax and grease remover. You don't have to use this brand, just some sort of wax and grease remover. And before that, I actually also cleaned it with the Chemical Guys Invisible Cleaner. This actually seemed to do a better job than Windex. I was using Windex before, and that seems to work better. This is all already cleaned with that Invisible Cleaner, and then we're gonna use the Prep-Sol now. So just liberally spray it everywhere and wipe it down. And also glove up to keep your greasy mitts from touching anything. All right, so we got the whole thing degreased, and the last step is to hit it with the tack cloth just to get rid of any tiny little dust particles or paint chips or whatever may still be on the surface. So we got a brand new one, just a regular tack cloth, and just wipe down the whole surface with it. All right, so now we're ready to mix our paint. I know this always looks like super complicated, but it's actually like the complete opposite. It's like super easy. There's like no real like measurements. It's all like proportions or ratios. So all you need to know is what ratio to mix all your stuff at. So our base coat is a 1-to-1 ratio, which it doesn't say on this thing. So it would have been nice for them to write it somewhere. But the paint shop said it's a 1-to-1 ratio with your reducer. So all that means is you need 1 part of paint and the same part reducer. That part is your measurement, and it can be literally anything. It could be a tablespoon, it could be like an actual cup, it could be a gallon. They just need to be 1 and 1. On our little paint mixing cup, there's already ratios printed on the side for whatever ratio the particular thing you're spraying is. Like I said, ours is 1-to-1, so you just fill up however much you think you're gonna need. So we're probably gonna go with the 3. So you put in your paint to the first 3, and then you put in your reducer to the 3 on the next column. And that's your 1 and 1. So those 2 parts should be equal. So we're gonna open our paint. Ooh, pretty. This is paint code AJ4. It's ultra red or active red. I'm not super sure anymore. I actually tried asking for active red, which is paint code AR2, but AR2 in the US pulls up a different color, which is carmine red, which didn't look anything like active red to me. So I don't know if those paint codes are like transferable between Japan and here. This looks more like active red, so this is what we're gonna go with. All right, so we're gonna fill this up to number 3. And this is the part that always sucks because pouring these is never easy. And then you put in your reducer to the 3 in the next column, like I said. This one's a little easier because at least it has like a spout. And we're gonna get a little strainer. So now as far as paint gun setup, we're painting an engine bay, which basically has no large flat areas. I don't typically, I don't think you should spray this like you would like a regular panel, like the side of the car. I would pull your fluid knob in like 2 full turns, so you're limiting the amount of paint that comes out. Most of the time when you're spraying the rest of the car, you're doing like full blast basically. So we're also gonna try and spray this a little lower in pressure. This is the Spectrum HTE gun, which I still can't find any like reliable information on how to like set this thing up. Most other paint guns that people use are HVLPs. So this one's meant to run at a higher pressure than an HVLP. but I'm gonna try to spray this a little lower to try and minimize overspray getting on everything else, because we only really messed off the most important thing in this room. So yeah, when you're spraying the engine bay, like I said, there's no large flat areas, so you're just gonna be doing a bunch of little quick spurts everywhere. And if you have your fluid set all the way open, then that might cause runs. So I'm gonna try and keep it a little more on the closed side. Like I said, 2 turns from fully open. Our compressor pressure, we're gonna go with 80 psi at the compressor. We're gonna be aiming for about 26 at the gun. Now we should pretty much be ready to go. Our fan setting, I'm not super sure about. I think we want to close it up because this gun has a pretty big fan. So I think I'm probably gonna close it up a bit. And this one doesn't have like a whole lot of adjustment on the fan. It looks like it's 1 full turn is your fan adjustment. So we're gonna go with 1/4 turn in and see how that works. I'll probably adjust it as we go. So with that, I think we are ready to start. I'm gonna start at the back of the engine bay because kind of have to crawl up in there. So we're gonna start with the stuff that's gonna be hardest to reach and then work our way forward. So time to mask up and give it a shot. All right, to help with the ventilation, we're just gonna crack the window open. We also have an air filter going toward the back. Like I said, we're just trying to minimize as much overspray getting everywhere. Really should mask off everything in here, but it's just a lot to mask off. I sprayed the sealer this way and it seemed to work. Basically no overspray got anywhere, so I think it'll be all right, but we'll see. So let's get going. Okay, so here we're starting our pearl coat, Tropical Glitz's Intercoat Clear. This is basically a flat, clear base coat, and it's made specifically to house stuff like flake and pearl and candies so that you don't have to mix that stuff in your clear coat and you have better control over the consistency. This product mixes 1:1. And then for the amount of pearl or flake, it's pretty subjective. And to be honest, I don't know what I was doing. It's the first time I've ever shot a pearl. So I just went with 1 tablespoon for the full cup. And that turned out to be on the heavy side. Might end up toning it down on the next one. Yeah, so like I said, it's my first time shooting pearl and I don't really know what I'm doing. So I tried to filter it like you filter pretty much everything else, and all the little pearls clogged up the filter immediately, and that didn't work. So just went with pouring it straight in there. I'd like to add some of these Harbor Freight spray guns have a tiny filter inside the gun. That would definitely have to be pulled out also because that'll probably clog up too. All right, now time for our clear. This is the first Euro clear coat that I've used. This one mixes 2:1, so you gotta make sure you got 2 parts of clear and 1 part of hardener. On their technical data sheet, I noticed that they also mentioned that you can include 10% reducer in there, so I did that as well. Here we're putting in that reducer, and our cup was labeled for 2:1 plus 10%, so we just filled it up to the 10% line on the amount that we used, and it was a pretty small amount, and I was afraid I was gonna open the possibility up for getting runs in it, but it was actually still pretty tacky and we didn't really get any runs. All right, so we're all done. We let it cure for a couple days. All the fumes are cleared out. and can't wait to see what you guys think. My first impressions are just, I did this. It looks freaking incredible. I'm like so happy that it turned out this good. Like it's like what I had in my head, but like times 100. Like it's got so much like sparkle, and especially like right in the direct light. I can't wait to see this out in the sun, but we can't really roll it anywhere right now. I am thinking it might have been a little too heavy on the pearl though, but this is great for an engine bay. But for the exterior, I'm probably gonna tone it down a little bit. We ended up doing like about a tablespoon per, it was a full cup, full mixing cup, which was about 600 milliliters. So I'm thinking maybe for the outside, we'll try a teaspoon instead of a tablespoon and see how it looks. I don't know, I'm super happy with how it came out. The clear that we used definitely took some getting used to. It was a lot stickier, I wanna say. Cause even like the clear that was like landing on the floor, it was making the floor sticky. After it started hardening, it like hardened on my shoes, and I walked inside the house and the tile and it was just like slipping everywhere. So that was interesting. We had to like really like cake it on because one coat was like not making it shiny enough. And you can kind of see on the driver's side frame rail where I forgot to give it like enough. It's like not quite as shiny. But the spots where like I started noticing and just like really like layering it on, it came out like fantastic. So I'm super happy with how it came out. So next up is gonna be starting to swap everything over. So now that the engine bay is done, we can pretty much start getting the engine and everything else in here. Unfortunately, we're still waiting on the front cross member and the dash bar to come back from powder coating because those are too big for my oven. But then we can start getting this thing rolling again and then take a look at it out in the sunlight. I think for the rest of the car, we're probably gonna end up having to rent a paint booth or something because the clear and the pearl were pretty manageable. They didn't really seem to get anywhere. The red, on the other hand, it got everywhere. I mean, you could see it on the plastic cover on the Skyline, on the fan pulley of the compressor. But yeah, it was a little too much overspray. We might be able to get away with like painting the doors and bumpers and fenders like individually, like one at a time, but then with the pearl, you risk that coming out inconsistent, so I don't really want to do that. Either renting a paint booth or trying out one of those Vivor inflatable paint booths and see how that goes. But for now, thank you guys for watching, and always do your best.